Hey guys, welcome back to the Beyond Hope Project podcast. My name is Jason Tharp. I am the champion of hope. Before we dive too deep into this episode, I want to start out by just thanking you for tuning in and checking this stuff out. Pretty simple. I know that you probably gotten value on it. I've been doing it for a while now, and feel like I'm getting maybe a little better at this whole thing. So if you've stuck around this whole time, I appreciate it. But also want to ask you a request of you. If you could just do me like a solid and let people know. I know there's probably a handful of people that you know that could benefit from this type of message. Maybe you know somebody that's been diagnosed with something. Maybe you know somebody that is struggling with some sort of transition in life and figuring stuff out. Whatever it might be, these messages hopefully will find them a spot to begin. And that's really ultimately what we're doing. We're trying to provide a place for you to begin, a spark, a starting point. And then you're going to go down that path and ultimately something will happen, as it always does. And you might lose that path and you might want to figure out a way back. And that's where hope comes back in again. We are not gurus. I will never claim to be a guru. What I'm doing is I'm sharing my story with you in hopes that you see something in my story that you can relate to yourself. And that is what I'm hoping to provide with this whole thing. So I'm going to bet that there's something in you that is always wanting to strive for more. I think as humans, it's natural for us to just want to do more stuff or maybe to accomplish more stuff. It could be something as small as, collecting things, or it could be something as big as like, a financial goal or whatever it might be. I just really want to center this around the idea of striving for more. You might be at a place right now where you feel like you could be super successful and everything is going great financially, all these things like this, but you question whether that is where you really want to be and you want to strive for more. You want to have some growth in there. Or you could be the flip side. You could be somebody that is just starting and you're trying to grow, but you can't figure out where to begin because the world is so wide and vast that you can't figure out that first starting point. And this is where a lot of difficulties lie, because what we start to do is we start to narrate our story through other people's lenses. We'll start to dig out for different things and look for different answers and all this stuff like that. And a lot of times what we don't realize is sometimes when we search, especially online, a lot of those things turn out to be paid advertisements that are paid to find people looking like us to pull and extract something from us. These quote unquote online gurus that have the solution to all the stuff that you're going for. And we start to adopt that and we'll start to run with this story. I know I did for sure many times where I thought that somebody that was out there that clearly I labeled successful, I thought they had the answers to everything I was doing. And that just wasn't true. What it actually ended up being, and it took me a long time to figure that out. It wasn't like all of a sudden I, woke up after doing it for a month and realized that I just went to a different quote unquote guru to the next, thinking that somehow they had something that would unlock the mystery of who I was. And I think the problem is that we deal with self-worth issues when we start to grow. When we want to strive for more, a lot of times that worth, whatever it might be, is kind of self-worth. We kind of look at ourselves at the limiting parts, right? We look at, but we talk about, we'll be brave enough to maybe share our story with somebody, but then we always follow it up with, but that's too, or I'm not that, or but I would love to do that, but it costs this, or I'd like to do that, but I know nothing about. It's the buts. I think that's one of the things that we kind of get caught up when we start to challenge ourselves to grow, because it's really hard to think past your nose, so to speak. And then it's learning how to adopt and embrace this awkward phase. Think back to 7th and 8th grade. We were all awkward as can be. I had that crazy like spike thing down the side of my head with it was like a cross between flock of seagulls and trying to be cool. Wearing a cardigan and MC Hammer pants. Google it if you don't know what that is. But it was not a good look. But it was the awkward phase. And you're going to have that same thing in your growth. It's going to look weird and feel weird and seem that you're doing it wrong. And there's going to be people around you that tell you you're doing it wrong, and you're going to buy into that. And then you're going to be pissed at yourself because you bought into somebody telling you did it wrong, and you're going to uproot. You're going to do all these things because it feels so awkward, and you want to figure out a way to not make it so awkward for you. So what you have to do is just learn how to get over that initial discomfort of your growth and understand that that is what growth feels like. It is that awkward phase. You grow through the awkward stuff. And what happens is that awkward stuff actually starts to feel normal. Then you got to start realizing that you actually deserve success. I think that's a big one that we all can like learn to adopt, because I think in a lot of ways what we're kind of programmed through social media is it's all about getting mine, and there's a limited supply of whatever it is. But this just isn't true. The success you're looking for exists for you just as much as it does for somebody else. There is plenty out there for everybody. But what we have to do is we have to start adopting the fact that you are deserving of it too. And that could be completely scary and brand new to a lot of us, because maybe we've spent our whole lives telling us all the reasons why we don't deserve success. Or maybe other people have said stuff that makes you feel like that what you're doing isn't worthy, and they're putting a stamp on it, or they're putting a projection on you, all based off of maybe their own insecurities and maybe their jealousies of you, them seeing the success that you can't quite see yet, because you have an idea that you know if you do it right, or they know if you do it right, will take off. And then now they're going to feel like somehow there are shortcomings. And so what they'll do is they'll pass a judgment on you. And that's not yours to carry. That's on them. But, understanding that you deserve success. And then finally, the big part is understanding as you start to evolve and you start to grow, with that comes a new normal. What is awkward right now, because you're starting and you're growing, will now become your new normal. Everything that, starts out sounds really hard to do. And then all of a sudden one day you're doing it and you're not thinking about it anymore. Think about back when maybe you started riding a bike. At first, it felt awkward, and the handlebars wiggled, and you pedaled as hard as you could, but you couldn't get it straight. And then, within a couple months, you're just jumping on the bike and like you're doing tricks and you're taking over jumps and all this stuff like that, because it just became a new normal. Your life is just like that too. The awkward phase that you're going through and you're learning, you will actually master that, and then you're going to find a new awkward spot to start. And each evolution of that becomes a new version of normal to you. You define what is normal, not everybody else. Everybody else wants to put a label on things they don't understand. That is not your problem. If somebody doesn't get what you're doing as your normal, that's not an issue that you need to worry about. Define what normal is for you, and understand that you should start embracing when things change. Because a lot of times, if you're striving to grow, it's because there's something inside you that you're wanting to bring to life. And that is going to feel awkward, but it will feel normal eventually. And a lot of times, I think what we experience, and a lot of times when I've talked to other people, is that it's so hard to fathom this idea that you can have an idea in your head, and within a few months, it could be in your hands in a real thing, because it seems so odd and hard to do in that present moment. But when we start to allow growth to happen, believing that we deserve success, and we have plenty of opportunities to create a new reality that feels really normal to us. And then what will happen is you'll start to find your people. People will naturally be drawn to that others will say is weird, but you'll find commonality between these people. And in that, you start to find your new normal. And that new normal will lead to belief in yourself. And that belief in yourself will lead to you ultimately finding all the stuff that you've been looking for. But it's usually hidden behind all the stuff that we're afraid to try. And I just want to encourage you guys all to explore those things a little more. Be open to growth and being awkward and stumbling, and don't beat yourself up so much, because it's completely normal. You know, I know for me, when I started with this whole brain cancer journey, it was awkward. And when I would tell people, it was always met with, I'm sorry, and I understood why somebody would say they're sorry, but it would send me on a spin because what I read into that was my own projection of like, well, they think I won't make it. So then I started, obviously questioning my worth and all that good stuff like that, like we just talked about. But then once what started happening was my new normal became, well, I share it and I don't really think about what other people are saying about it because I know that it's different for me. It took me a long time to tell myself over and over again that I'm here, I'm clear, I'm cured, I am whole, right? It was me reprogramming myself to realize that I can make these things my reality and make them my new normal. But it was really awkward going through it because I fought with all of the reasons why everybody else threw on my way. I fought through all those reasons why until I finally realized and accepted the fact that like maybe what everybody else is quoting as normal isn't mine. Maybe my normal is this. And with that came so much strength that was a huge evolution and a moment that really changed everything. And I equate that back to hope. I woke up knowing my path without a clue of how to get there, but I was brave enough to take the first steps. And I fell a lot. But in each of those steps, I figured out a way to get back on that path. And slowly, what started happening was the detours off the path got shorter and shorter and shorter until I started feeling confident enough in myself that I kind of had some stuff figured out that I started sharing with people. And then I started accepting that I do deserve success in this stuff. And with that comes the responsibility, at least for me, and this is my normal, to take all those things and share it. I think that it would be a huge disservice to survive things that I've been through, the diagnosis that I was given, and not share this stuff. So this is where this value comes from for me. This is my normal, is I want to share hope. I want to help people see that there's unlimited potential in you, all that good stuff like that, and start to give you tools for it. Um, and yeah, guys, so if you are somebody that is striving for more in life, embrace the awkward phase. It is so normal. Um, you're going to trip and fall and look goofy and ask dumb questions and question yourself and doubt yourself and not like yourself and tell yourself you're stupid. You're going to go through all those things. That does not make you abnormal. That makes you normal. If you think about it, anything in the world worth getting towards, it's going to take time and it's going to take a lesson. And most of the time, if everything that you want to just magically happen in front of you, you probably wouldn't appreciate it anyway. You probably wouldn't like it and you probably wouldn't look at it as a way to actually build something on. But if you do start to strive for more and understand that you do deserve more, you're going to find that more keeps showing up. And leaning into those things, you'll find hope and love and all those amazing things were there all along. And yeah, that's it. Strive for more. Go out there and achieve stuff. Take a chance on yourself. Like today, right now, just make the decision that you're going to put whatever in the heck it is you're doing right now on hold for 5 minutes to get out a piece of paper and write down one thing that you're going to do for yourself today, not tomorrow, not next week, because that stuff doesn't exist. Nobody's promised you that those days will be here. Like one thing that you're going to do today doesn't have to be huge, and you might look awkward and you might look silly, but you deserve to take a chance on yourself today. And when you do that, you're going to find out that you are pretty normal. So, guys, as you go through life, it's going to hand you all kinds of different things. You may not be ready for it, or you may be and you didn't realize you were. But through that process, what I would really love for you to figure out is that what it is that you're looking for is truly hidden in all of the things you're afraid to explore. And yeah, so close this up. I just hope this helps. Share this message with other people. I know you know some people that need this stuff, and just help us spread the word. And as you do that, it might sound awkward to be like, yo, there's this dude that whatever. Trust me, I still feel awkward sometimes talking here. I'm awkwardly thinking right now that I'm running on on this thing because I'm trying to figure out in my brain how to wrap this thing up. Because I feel like I went on a tangent. My mind went one direction. Now I'm trying to steer it back in to figure out how to wrap this up in a bow. If that's not real and sharing a vulnerable point of growth as I'm striving for more, I don't know what it is. Anyway, hope this helps. Power up.
Foxland Media. Think big.